I think we're on board with however it goes as the Dodgers and Padres play the final game of this 3-game series, and the Dodgers with a chance to sweep San Diego. 2.5 games back of the Giants, who had a 2-0 lead through 5.5 innings in New York, but the Giants now tied at 2 with the Mets as Pete Alonso hits a 2-run home run off Alex Wood. Welcome inside, Joe Davis and Orel Hershiser. Hope you got some rest after that 16-inning affair last night. I mean, there had never been a game that had gotten beyond the 13th inning in this current format. They went 16 in a one-of-a-kind affair.
Yeah, it was a marathon, and it was a pitcher's duel at the beginning. It's Walker Buehler against Blake Snell, and they were going toe-to-toe. The only difference at that point in the game was an unearned run against Walker Buehler, but Smitty tied it up late, and that drove it into extra innings.
Billy McKinney came off of the bench, gave him a lead. Trey Turner added on. Looked like they were going to win it in the 15th before Fernando Tatis Jr. snapped an 0 for 29 for the Padres and tied it with a home run that teed up A.J. Pollock for what would be the game winner.
And this game doesn't go there without the great pitching staff. 9 2/3 with no-hit innings between the 5th and the 14th. They were fantastic.
Incredible. And over this 17-game stretch where the Dodgers are 15-2, they have a 2.01 ERA as a staff. So that was last night. Tonight, the Dodgers get Mookie Betts back from the injured list. He's right in there hitting third.
Yeah, the Dodgers are 15-2 over the last 17, but before that stretch, Mookie Betts, when he's in the lineup, they were significantly better. And boy, was he hot before he went on the IL. The power was coming back. He was turning on the ball. The hip was feeling good, but then it got re-irritated. He had to get it shut down, but now feeling really good, even in his simulated game. Hit a couple of home runs, so don't expect the power to be a shortage.
Dodgers going for the sweep, and they'll try to do it behind Max Scherzer, who has won 3 of his 4 starts with the Dodgers. The Dodgers have won all 4 times that he's taken the ball. It's Yu Darvish going for the Padres in another good pitching matchup with first pitch coming up on Sportsnet LA.
2-run blast. Dodgers back in front.
Shane Greenwood lock it down after that, and the Dodgers are the 5-3 win, and we take a look at the Land Rover Performance Spotlight, that 5-3 win by the numbers. It ends at 12:59, 5 hours and 49 minutes in a game that had 489 pitches thrown between the two teams combined, and on and on and on it went, the longest game in the 2 years of this extra innings format. So what's it like the day after in San Diego? Here's Kirsten Watson.
Thanks, Joe. Last night, obviously, with going into extra innings, it was a long game, but when you come out on top, it's always worth it in the end. The guys were thrilled in the clubhouse. There were beer showers going. Of course, I was with A.J. Pollock here on the warning track when he got dumped by ice-cold water. So the guys, as much as they were tired, it was mentally, emotionally draining, but they were excited in the end. Today, though, things have been a little bit quieter here at the park. They didn't take BP on the field. Mookie Betts was doing some work in right field because, of course, he has been activated, so he's back in the lineup tonight. So as much as things are a little exhausting coming off of last night, getting a new face in the lineup is always a good thing. So the energy is pretty good for now, guys.
All right, Kirsten, and another gorgeous night there in San Diego. And how about that lineup with Mookie Betts back in it? It looks like this. Trey Turner will lead it off. Max Muncy gets the day off. Corey Seager is at short hitting second. And then it's Mookie out of the 3 spot, which is where he was in the one game that him and Trey Turner were both in the lineup. And this is the plan moving forward for him to bat third. Turner's the cleanout man. A.J. Pollock has had it going on in this series and really over the last month and a half. Bellinger's in center. McKinney's at first base for the first time as a Dodger, something that he's done throughout his career sporadically. And Barnes catches Scherzer. Familiar foe for Mookie Betts and the Dodgers. It is Yu Darvish, who is an all-star and a deserving one with a 2.44 ERA through the end of June. Since the start of July, though, Orel, he's 0-5 with a 7.13. And he comes off of the injured list with a lower back issue to make this start.
And when you're having back issues, and he was probably nursing it through those last 7 starts, you take a look at just his slider before going on the IL in April and June. The slider, the league was hitting 105. Well, before going on the IL in July and August, they were hitting almost 350, and that means he was probably hanging it, not getting it down. He wasn't getting ground balls. He was getting more fly balls, and those fly balls were leaving the park.
That was his most dominant pitch when he faced the Dodgers a few times earlier this year and dominated LA. 1.35 ERA in 3 starts against his old club. He went at least 6 innings, gave up just 1 run in all 3 starts. And really his one of many in the starting rotation for the Padres that has limited the Dodger offense. They've got a 1.59 starting pitcher's ERA in the head-to-head matchups this year. Trey Turner stands in. Darvish comes home, and off we go with ball one. Dodgers taking the first two games of this series, 5-2 on Tuesday night. And then the longest game by far in this extra innings format last night, 5-3 in 16 innings. Now, there had only been 4 games that had even made it to the 13th inning. None had gone longer than that, and they blew right on by it. I mean, it was awful, the offensive display. These teams over the first 5 innings of extras went 1 for 31 combined. On a 1-1 from Darvish. Turner swings and misses 1-2.
It doesn't seem possible to put a free runner on second base for 2 big league clubs like this, offensive juggernauts, and all of a sudden you say, we're going to go 5 innings and neither team is going to score.
Dodgers had a no-hitter in the middle of the game. Over 9 innings in a row where they held the Padres without a hit. Turner gets his bat on it. Fly to center field for Trent Grisham. And the first out of the night. All is well that ends well, though. And for the Dodgers, their 15th win out of their last 17 games. And so they remain 2.5 back of the Giants, who are tied at 2 in the 7th inning in New York.
The only payment for overtime is a W, and that's what the Dodgers got. So their locker room was in a completely different mood than the Padre locker room.
Here's Seager. And then you think about it from the Padres side, right? As tough as things have been, 7 games below 500 since the start of July. They've now dropped 11 of their last 13 games. And both teams felt like that is a game they could and should have won at many different spots. Padres a game back of the Reds, who lost last night as well, for the second wild card spot.
6 pitches in, Darvish with his first firm one, a little cutter right there, but everything prior to that, the first 5 were one type of breaking ball or another, sliders and curveballs.
Here's his 1-1 to Seager. It is a breaking ball low, 2-1. 34-year-old in his 9th big league season. Got him in a trade in December. All-star in his first year with the Padres. Stealing a 2-1. Another breaking ball is fouled off, 2-2.
Yu Darvish is an interesting study in pitching because so much of the modern game is about the fastball. And he has an elite fastball, but he will default or choose to throw the breaking stuff over and over and over again. And sometimes he'll then add the fastball back in the 3rd, 4th, 5th inning and start to rely on it. Opposite of what a lot of pitchers do.
Bouncing ball to first. Jurickson Profar to the bag. Foul number 2. Two up, 2 down in this first inning, and up comes Mookie Betts for the first time since August 7th. And you touched on it off at the top, but it's a bummer anytime he goes on the IL, anytime a player like that does, but especially when you consider the way that he was swinging. In the 10 games prior to the IL, 536 with 6 home runs.
And we had seen some holes develop in the first half of the season, the inside fastball. Some instability on when he reached out for the sliders away and just kind of popped them up. But as they got a handle on the nagging hip and started to get rid of some of that pain, we started to see his ability to turn the ball, hit it for power, and hit to all fields.
And it has come to light that it has been that hip. It's been the root of the problems all season for Mookie. Takes a fastball away, and it's 1-1. He talked about how during this recent IL stint, as he got his second shot in that hip, how it really took this time, and this is as good as he's felt, as pain-free as he's been since the offseason. Said it with a big smile. Ahead of Darvish, 2-1. They did all the things they felt necessary to get him ready to come back. The big thing was they wanted to make sure that when they brought him back, he was ready to stay there. And it wasn't going to be something where they had to pull him out of a game mid-game and then make another move to put him back on the IL. They had to kind of ramp him up and say take off. Sees it well, takes a ball, 3-1.
If the irritation is coming from a bone spur, you've got to really calm it down completely. You don't want to get to where the pain is tolerable. You want to get to where the pain has disappeared. And you calm it down, you strengthen it, and you stabilize that hip so that hopefully the irritation doesn't come back.
On a 3-1 from Darvish, he hits a fly ball to left center field, but missed it. And Tommy Pham will put it away to end a 1-2-3 first for Darvish. Here comes Max Scherzer trying to pitch the Dodgers to a sweep of the Padres when you come back. Let's take a look at the lineup for Jace Tingler. Fernando Tatis Jr. up into the leadoff spot. Third different leadoff man they've had in the 3 games in this series, with Jake Cronenworth hitting second. Did a good job on both Tatis and Machado, who hits third. Tommy Pham, the cleanup man. Grisham in center. Jurickson Profar starts at first with Ha-Sung Kim and Victor Caratini rounding things out. Well, what a season it's been for Max Scherzer, although the one big blemish came against these Padres. July 8th, he gave up 7 earned runs. He actually made back-to-back starts against the Padres, 11 runs over 10 2/3.
A couple of home runs during that time off of his fastball. The cutter got hit a little bit, but the changeup and the slider have been very good against these Padres.
There's the slider.
Slip sliding away from Fernando Tatis.
Scherzer, his last time out against the Mets on Saturday, cruised through 4 innings and then really just didn't have it in the 5th. But was still able to hold the damage to just 1. He gave up a solo shot. Mets loaded the bases against him, and it took him 34 pitches to get out of that inning, where he said he just didn't have a feel for the fastball, couldn't land a breaking ball, but found a way to get through it and get his 3rd win as a Dodger. He's home with an 0-2, and Tatis fouls back 97.
You know, the great ones do find a way, and when they're starting to spiral down or can't find the feel for something, they continue to look for solutions instead of kind of wallowing in, oh my gosh, I don't have it, and then ball 1, ball 2, and fall behind. He keeps looking for outs and ways to get them.
Second in the league in strikeouts. Leads the league in average against. Opponents hitting 186 against Scherzer. .37 years old, out of St. Louis, Missouri. Rocks and fires a 1-2, and Tatis bounces it along third. Will do it again. Well, Tatis tied the game with the home run in the bottom of the 15th, and in doing so snapped an 0-for-29 run for the Padres. Run may not be the right word. Another 1-2. In the 2 games in this series, though, they've scored 5 runs. And as a team, they're 7-for-82.
You got to tip your hat to the Dodger pitching staff, but you also got to say these guys are just flailing. They cannot string hits together. They just don't look like the same type of offense that we saw earlier in the year. When you shut down the 2 main bats, it's a completely different lineup. Tatis and Machado, Dodgers done a great job against those 2.
Now those guys combined 1 for 15 in the 2 games. Eighth pitch of the game opening at bat for the Padres. A 2-2 from Scherzer to Tatis. Count goes full.
Max tried to go back to the opening slider to put him away, and just it was a ball out of his hand, so an easy take. Going right back to the well with the slider.
And this time it gets him to offer. Took him 9 pitches, but he strikes out Tatis to open the night.
This one stays a strike a little bit longer. You think as the leadoff hitter, he doesn't want to walk me. It's probably going to be a strike. Cheat a little bit, get off speed, and get some bend, and get the swing.
If they get 10 of those tonight, everybody gets a free Jumbo Jack with the purchase of a large drink at LA area restaurants tomorrow. One gone first inning, Jake Cronenworth. If you include Jake Cronenworth in the equation, Dodgers have shut down the 3 All-Stars in this lineup. Cronenworth is 0 for 8. And an 0-1. He swings through a fastball, strike 2.
Max, so much fun to watch,
isn't he?
His personality just shines through in his delivery, in between pitches, the way he just prowls around the mound after a strikeout.
He's got back-to-back Ks to open this one. Back-footing the breaking ball and prowling his way around the mound, as you said.
He hits with that landing leg. He sees the strikeout, and then he turns left to first base to just continue to start his celebration walk almost.
And then go back to work and try to do it again. 14-year veteran, 3-time winner of the Cy Young Award. What a treat it is to watch him pitch for the Dodgers.
4 starts, 4 W's for the Dodgers, 3 for Max Scherzer.
Who now faces Manny Machado. Fouls off the fastball. Scherzer has gotten the better of Machado in many meetings in their careers. Machado does have a home run, but he's hitting just 158 and has struck out at almost half of their meetings. It's a change-up, and it's 1-1. Padres not a good change-up hitting team.
Nobody's a good change-up hitting team off of his change-up.
That is true. League hitting 114 against it. Slider gets a swing and a miss, puts him ahead 1-2.
I mean, the changeup before Manny took, but the movement to go left to right and then get this right to left, that's how Max Scherzer makes the best look like little leaguers.
Struck out Tatis, struck out Cronenworth. Joss misses with a change here to even the count 2-2. Scherzer deals, and Machado swings and misses as Max Scherzer strikes out the side in the first, retiring Tatis, Cronenworth, and Machado. Yu Darvish facing the Dodgers for the 4th time this season, and in his career against LA, his 1.33 ERA is the best of anybody, just ahead of the guy that won the other Cy Young in 1988, Frank Viola. Did that with the Minnesota Twins. And the guy that has probably struggled against Darvish more than anybody in the Dodger lineup is Turner, who leads off this second. 1 out of 11 with 8 Ks.
You're going to have to hit something that has a bend in it. And that would be including his cutter.
cutter really was the one pitch the Dodgers were able to hit. First couple times they saw him. Oh, 2. Hit back to him. He finds it and gets Turner.
And Justin got a mistake with the 0-2 fastball near the middle of the plate. Hit it good. Right back at him, though. Darvish knocks it down and makes the play. Right about now, you think, oh, if he doesn't find it, I got a chance. But the second look, he found it.
Darvish has retired the first 4 that he's faced, and up comes A.J. Pollock, who drove in 2 and robbed the home run on Tuesday night, and then had the game-winning home run in the 16th inning last night. Got a Gatorade bath for his effort.
Getting to be a regular on the post-game show.
Yeah. First one from Darvish. Spins away, ball 1.
He has been a hero in this series, and he capped it off. After the Dodgers lost the lead, he put them back on top. That put the energy back in the club, and they were able to finish it off last night.
Grounded to short, and Jake Cronenworth. 2 gone. Cody Bellinger went into last night's game 2 for his last 26, and then went 2 for 7 in the marathon. Up to 6th in the order tonight. Off speed with the first pitch. It has been primarily non-fastball so far from Darvish. Nothing new. Early on in his major league career when he was with Texas, he had a lot of people tell him, you need to throw that fastball more. I mean, high 90s, good movement. You need to attack with your fastball more, and he just was never comfortable doing that. Loves spinning the ball, loves toying with new grips, changing shapes on pitches. And he kind of was ahead of his time, right? Because the whole game has trended that direction as his big league career has gone on. He's only been here 9 years, but things have changed to the point where fastballs barely make up 50% of the total pitches now.
He is a study in pitching. I've loved watching him kind of adapt and listen to his coaches, but also then march to his own drummer. And he is like the culture, like you say, more spin and greater than 50% with the spin. But his choice of when to use the spin is a little different, because he'll go over and over and over again with a breaking ball, a cutter, and then a curveball, and avoid the fastball for, 15, 20 pitches sometimes. And then all of a sudden he'll have an inning where he just wears the fastball out. So his sequencing is very creative.
Delivers 1-2 to Cody Bellinger again. And a change is slapped to short. Charging Cronenworth. Just in time to get Bellinger, who's busting up that line. That's a 1-2-3 inning on 3 ground ball outs for you, Darvish.
By your Southern California Lexus dealers. Get to Darvish. The Dodgers have not gotten to a Padres starter this year. All 12 starts, they've given up 2 or fewer runs. Max go deep. He needs to just protect that bullpen after last night's 16-inning win and keep him cold. That's the top of the order in this whole San Diego lineup.
Hot shots, Corey Seager off of the bat of Tommy Pham, and 1 pitch, 1 out here in the second. Got lost in Everything that happened in extra innings last night was a tremendous pitcher's duel between Walker Buehler and Blake Snell. Wound up being less than half of the game. How about for the Padres, who've just been searching for some kind of length from a starter, given all the bullpen games they're getting? They finally get it. 7 2/3, a career-long outing from Snell. And then they still got to cover a full game on top of that.
When it rains, it pours. There's so much intensity this year between these Padres and Dodger games. I mean, I remember the first series, how the whole baseball world was looking forward to these two teams playing, and they have not disappointed. Even though the records are different right now than everybody kind of predicted, they have not disappointed when these two teams go head-to-head.
Padres won 7 in the first 10. Dodgers have won both games in this series. As Grisham just misses. He got all of it, but wasn't traded off, and it's 1-1. Grisham, one of the many struggling Padres, hitting just .158 over his last 11 games. Would like to have that one back.
After watching that first inning and the 3 strikeouts from Scherzer, they don't want to get the 2 strike counts. They are hacking right now. Strikeout on a fastball, strikeout on a slider, strikeout on a cutter in the first.
For a lineup that is usually very selective.
Well, Max in the first inning got 6 swings and misses.
The 1-2 pitch is fouled off. The average is about 16 swings and misses per start this year, and 6 of them in the first inning alone. Another 1-2. Good changeup. Got it off the end of the bat. Trey Turner throws Grisham out.
The one thing the San Diego team has not done through their slump is string hits together. And you are not going to do that against Max Scherzer. He is second in Major League Baseball leaving people on base at 87%. So the only way he gives up runs is really the long ball.
He's only given up 2 of those in his 4 starts with the Dodgers. One of them came in his very first inning, and then 1 against the Mets on Saturday. He's retired the first 5 on this Thursday night. Here's Jurickson Profar, who has a home run against Scherzer. On this 1-0 pitch, golfs it to right. Routine for Mookie Betts, and 6 up, 6 down for Scherzer.
Baseball with fireworks is better. Be at Dodger Stadium tomorrow when the Dodgers host the Rockies, and stay after the game for Friday night fireworks presented by Q-Cells. Plus, now you can experience another great view of the pyro display from the newly designed Center Field Plaza. For tickets, go to Dodgers.com/promotions.
No base runners for either side through 2 innings. Perhaps not surprising. Both teams coming off the 16-inning game. Yu Darvish back out there to face Billy McKinney, leading off the 3rd.
Some tough glare on his left eye.
Curveball, strike 1.
He's stepping out of the box here for a while and trying to make this at bat last as long as possible.
Move, son. McKinney had a pinch hit, go ahead RBI single on the 15th last night, producing the first run of extras. And these 2 lineups loaded with all-stars. It was Billy McKinney off of the bench that did what no one else could to that point.
He's been very consistent with his knowledge of the strike zone, that's for sure. That glare not helping this at bat. Filters through that opening.
Looks like heaven may be through there. Checked his swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Starting at first base today, Max Muncy getting the day off. Something Billy did 8 times with the Brewers earlier this year and has throughout his career here and there. McKinney starting this third. He takes it in the dirt. It goes 2-2. We've got something that was not protected on Caratini.
Whenever you think that the hitter's vision is kind of hampered by the light or the backdrop where the hitter's eye is, and there's shadows, you always want to throw things that start one place, end up another. It's not a good time for straight fastballs because the hitter picks up the information. Even if then the vision is tough, at least the ball is probably approximately where they last saw it.
Wraps around the plate. Count goes full.
Tried to make it back. Backdoor slider that just missed.
Dodgers 0 for 19 against Darvish's slider first 3 times they saw him. And McKinney has worked it full. Here comes the payoff. And he watches a changeup miss.
Darvish will throw the whole kitchen sink at you, and you look at a lot of cutters overall and sliders and 4-seamers.
Tonight so far, the 4-seamer usage is down, but the cutter usage and the slider usage are right there where they normally are.
A mad scientist with a baseball is what his old assistant pitching coach Mike Borzello called him. Dodgers have their first base runner of the game. Barnes comes up and takes a ball. And between the different pitches, there's little subcategories within each one based on how he changes the speeds and changes the shapes. And he says that at any given moment, he's got 11 or 12 different pitches he can go to when you break them down that way. About 30 miles per hour separation between the fastest and the slowest.
He'll alter his delivery also. He'll have the long, slow leg kick. He'll have a little quicker one. Got a hesitation move when there's nobody on.
Two and one on Barnes. He makes his first start since Friday. And early on, it was much more even of a timeshare between Will Smith and Austin Barnes, but the way Smith has played, he has earned the majority of the games.
That playing time has changed a little bit with Clayton Kershaw being on the IL. That is pretty much Clayton's personal catcher is Austin. Dodgers are very fortunate to have Austin on the team. He is I don't even like to say backup. You know, just a great veteran presence back there behind the plate. Great on the bench. Has really done very well in losing the majority of the playing time to Will Smith.
And he said, yeah, it's not easy, but hard to argue it. He said, basically, look, the guy that has taken time from me has become Mike Piazza. He sees what everybody does. Doesn't make it any easier, but he's handled it very well. On a 2-1 from Darvish, watches ball 3.
And if Austin wasn't at the quality that he is, the Dodgers wouldn't have had the embarrassment of riches to trade Keibert Ruiz. You know, and that all of a sudden you are able to have 2 big league high quality catchers. If anything happens to Will Smith, there's not a huge downgrade with Austin Barnes back there as far as the pitching staff and guiding them through games.
That is driven to left center field, deep to the gap. It is gone! Barnes with a 2-run shot. Talk about taking advantage of an opportunity. Barnes takes Darvish deep. Dodgers 2, Padres nothing.
He does his best Mike Piazza impression. The hanging breaking ball just stays right there, and cement mixes down the middle of the plate. He got it.
Backspin it out to left center.
Dodgers 2, Padres nothing. Scherzer comes up and swings and misses. It's Barnes' 23rd career home run. It's his 5th at Petco Park. Look out.
I don't think it was that close, but as a pitcher, you are going to react a little different than a guy that's out there every day. Within a foot of your cabeza, as a pitcher, that's really close. For a regular, they might just kind of lean back from that one. They just see the ball so much better and so much more often.
He's ahead 2-1. Well, Scherzer, who throughout his career has been a good hitting pitcher. He's a 193 career hitter coming in. Had 3 seasons where he hit above 200. Is nearing a record that he would rather not. Bounce to third, Machado. And Scherzer now no hits in 46 plate appearances this year. The major league record for the most plate appearances without a hit. 49 from Wei-Yin Chen in 2016.
And Max can hit. He's just in a huge slump. I don't want to put what, you know, he used to be able to hit. He was a hitter.
Trey Turner getting his second look at Yu Darvish. A little high. Trey has a home run against him.
This third inning has been completely different command with all the pitches compared to those first 2 innings that Darvish threw. The spray pattern is completely different.
Is 1-0 is in there, 1-1.
Strikes are near the middle. They're more thigh high, and the misses are really wide.
Well, he started the inning getting Billy McKinney in an 0-2 hole, and then walked him on 4 straight pitches before giving up the home run to Barnes. Retires Scherzer. Now a 2-1 to Trey Turner. Smooth fielding Dino Eben.
Still got it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, anybody coming off the IL as a pitcher, you worry about their endurance and how's the effort in a big league game going to be different than the rehab. especially with a guy who's coming back from a back issue. Does it stiffen up in between innings?
Deals 2-2. Full count. Fouls back what would have been ball 4. Had to look juicy coming out.
Well, you're looking for those hanging breaking balls. You're not surprised when he throws you a 3-2 breaking ball. Yu Darvish will throw any pitch in that 3-2 count, and especially his cutter and slider.
Another 3-2, and it's raked into left field. It'll bounce its way to the wall, and extra bases for Turner. A one-out double for Trey Turner, who is now 3 for 4 against Yu Darvish. Home run in this double.
Think about the Austin Barnes home run, and then take a look at this pitch. Almost the same exact pitch, just spinning and staying right there. And he doesn't miss it either. Austin hit it over the wall. Turner hit it to the wall.
Here's a visit with Darvish and a quick word from the Home Depot.
Scan the field and read the product review. Check inventory status and place your order easily in the Home Depot app.
A walk and 2 extra base hits in the inning for the Dodgers. They lead 2-0 in the Barnes home run. And now Seager to the plate.
Corey hit a couple balls hard in his first at bat, both pulled foul, especially on the slow curve ball.
Sharp breaker there, 0-1.
He gets real deliberate with men on base, and when he's giving up runs, he is a deep processor on the mound.
It's quite a menu of pitches to go through before each 1-2. It's like being to the Cheesecake Factory.
Caratini needs more fingers.
Seager hooks one down the line, but it is off the wall. Tatis looked like he was ready to make a play on it. Instead, it's an RBI double for Seager. Turner in to score on a funky-looking play, and the Dodgers lead 3-0.
Everybody reads outfielders and their approach to a ball, and I don't know if he was trying to deke Trey Turner or he actually lost this ball in right field. Another cutter, and Seager doesn't miss it. Yeah, he was thinking about cruising back and getting it and then maybe jumping, and he just kind of lost where he was. He needed to be running about as fast as Trey Turner to catch that ball, but he was just kind of cruising back on it.
Of course, new to the outfield, just moved there since his most recent shoulder injury. As you mentioned, another hit on the cutter. All 3 of them tonight have come on that pitch, and 8 of the 10 that they've gotten against Darvish this year have been on the cutter. A strike on Betts. Fly to left in his first AB.
It's a really good swing in his first AB that he fly to left on. He's just a little out in front of it, a little off the end of the bat.
Homered against Darvish in this park earlier this year. And looks at a fastball here, 0-2.
So hard to tell the difference between his cutter and his slider, and the fact that he will tinker with both of them with the grips and the speeds. I mean, both pitches are going to be somewhere between 80 miles an hour and 86 miles an hour. Both are going to kind of break the same direction, right to left. Sometimes the cutter's bigger and it's 83, 84, and sometimes the slider is bigger and it's more 80, 81, but very small differences.
Pop up. And a souvenir. What's interesting is that while there are small differences and they're very similar pitches, Dodgers are 0 for against the slider, but have done everything against the cutter.
And his cutter tonight looks like a bad slider. You know, it's kind of just hanging there, thigh high near the middle of the plate. We're starting to see one of the Achilles heels of Yu Darvish, which is that pitch count really getting up there.
29th of the inning here. Another 0-2 to Mookie. Got a fastball by him. Caratini flipped to the backswing. Darvish, who had 29 strikeouts in 20 innings against the Dodgers in his first 3 starts, gets his first one tonight here.
Mookie took a fastball earlier on an 0-1 pitch to go to 0-2, and now he finishes him with that fastball.
Caratini keeps his index finger out of his catching glove, so when that bat came around and hit the back of his glove, it got the finger.
Package deal coming over from the Cubs. Caratini with Yu Darvish. Seager is second, 2 gone. Here's Justin Turner. They got a language that is all their own in terms of the signs that Caratini puts down. You mentioned he needs more fingers. Well, they've got a system where, based on the tempo that he puts the fingers down, that is the version of the pitch that he's calling. Two and 0. So, for example, the curveball is 2. Puts 2 down really slowly. That's his slow curve. If he snaps 2 fingers down twice, that's the sharper curveball. Two and 1 on Turner.
It's interesting because most big league catchers would tell you, as long as I know what direction it's moving, I really don't care about the speed of it. But even with like Mike Scioscia and catchers that I threw to often, they're like, if you want to throw a changeup off your fastball sign, go ahead. Just throw me a BP fastball or throw a changeup, because I know they're both approximately the same movement.
Huh.
The only time they don't like a changeup off a fastball is if it's a base stealer on base, because they're going to start to come out and greet the ball to be ready to throw the runner out if he's running, and they don't want to be early and get hit by the bat. They don't want to be early and have their timing thrown off. So that was the only time really that you could mess your catcher up.
In the bank for the Dodgers here in the third. Seager at second with 2 gone, and a 2-2 eventually.
Beautiful weather there in San Diego, but sometimes you can be a rain delay.
Yeah.
A little tougher to take after a 16-inning game the night before.
No question. Thought it was destined for 1 a.m. Fell just short, 12:59. You looked at me before that last FM and said in the universe's grand plan, this game was supposed to go to 1.
Exactly.
Nope, not quite. 12:59 on the universe's grand plan.
The universe's grand plan, the Dodgers have a chance to win 2 games in 1 day.
That's right. As it stands now, continues to look like it'd be keeping pace with the Giants, who lead 3-2 to the 9th inning in New York. Another 2-2 coming to Justin Turner. Pop fly. Jake Cronenworth. That does it for the Dodgers in this 3rd inning, but they get in the bore with a home run from Austin Barnes, a 2-run shot. They added 1 and a base hit from Seager. Middle 3, looking for the sweep and leading 3-0.
The rest of Major League Baseball.
Ha-Sung Kim to lead off this 3rd for the Padres. Max Scherzer's retired the first 6 that he's faced, and the Padres back to the 5th inning yesterday are 1 for their last 41. Quickly, 0-2 on Kim.
A little different pacing from Max Scherzer than Yu Darvish, and especially now with a 3-0 lead, he's going to try and suffocate the Padres.
Whips an 0-2 home, and the dirt ball 1.
That lane between the pitcher's rubber and home plate, he rarely leaves it until there's a conclusion to the at-bat.
Gets a chase on a breaking pitch and has his 4th strikeout.
Breaking ball wide. Got Tatis with this. He's had a back foot slider to Cronenworth. And that gets a chase again.
Dodgers 3, Padres 0. Last of the 3rd. Victor Caratini takes strike 1. A generous outside corner there. So Scherzer trying to shut down a Padres lineup that has gotten him twice this year. Max is a guy, though, that has always loved a good challenge. It's been a part of his identity back to his days at Missouri. Where famously, the upperclassmen challenged him to eat 3 Chipotle burritos in one sitting, and he did. Fully loaded. They weren't skipping on the toppings either. Curveball is in there, and it's 1-2. It was one random day in AAA. He was going to face a hitter that the scouting report said crushed fastballs. Don't throw this guy fastballs. What Scherzer do? Just to prove a point, threw him nothing but fastballs, struck him out 3 times.
I'm sure the scouts marked that in their book.
That is past the diving McKinney and down the line. First base runner of the game for the Padres. A Victor Caratini double.
Just snuck it down the line. Cutter doesn't do a lot, trying to get it in, doesn't get it all the way in. If he gets it all the way in, it's probably pulled foul. McKinney just goes just barely out of the reach of his glove.
Caratini here in his first start of the series has a base hit and a runner in scoring position for the Padres. For you, Darvish. Scherzer a few years ago, you might remember, fouled a ball off his face and broke his nose while he was doing bunting practice. And the training staff told him he probably should not pitch. Like that, skip a turn. He went out and pitched anyways the next day and fired 7 shutout innings. Always up for a challenge. Always tends to be at his best when they say he shouldn't be or he won't be. In the World Series in 2019, he scratched from Game 5 with a sore neck. Comes back and starts Game 7. And helped pitch the Nationals to their first World Championship. Home with an 0-2 and ball 1 on Darvish. Strikeout number 5 for Max Scherzer. 5 of them once through the lineup. 2 gone here in the third. 5 more and everybody gets a free Jumbo Jack at Jack in the Box restaurants tomorrow.
This is when it's really fun to pitch as a starting pitcher, when they post that lead for you against a team that you kind of want a redeemer start. He gets the challenge of Tatis. He's got the guy on second. He's got 2 outs, and he wants to get his team into the dugout. This is kind of like you said, he loves a challenge. This is the part of the game you absolutely love. There's like 4 or 5 batters for a starting pitcher that are just key moments in the game. And this is the first one for Max.
Struck Tatis out in a 9-pitch battle his first time. First pitch here is in there for a strike. Started him with a curveball. Tatis, one of the best in baseball in these situations. Max Scherzer, one of the best at what he does in these situations. Holding opponents to 4 for 40 with runners in scoring position and 2 out. Oh, 1. Strike 2.
Slow him down, speed him up. Slow curve to start. And the heater at 95, even though it's in the middle. Continue to change speeds and change locations, and got a chance.
I'd say this guy's got a chance, huh? It'd be pretty good.
You can walk him off the plate with that slider again. It's like that's where Austin wants it.
Yeah, the dirt. Caratini not going anywhere. Tougher the spot, the better he gets.
Well, they've gone in. They've slowed him down with curveballs in the 2 at-bats. The one thing they haven't done is changed his eye line with an up fastball. They've still got that tool if they want to use it.
On 1-2, it's a changeup. That's foul. We'll do it again. You can see it in his face right now that it's a grind for him. Even in the home run that he hit last night, he didn't have the usual joy around in the bases, almost a sense of relief as he got back home, went into the dugout. He had 4 hits in his first game off of the IL. He's 4 for 33 since. And on this 1-2 from Max Scherzer, he swings through a fastball, strike 3. 6 Ks for Scherzer through 3 innings and a 3-0 Dodger lead. Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by the SoCal BMW Centers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. And by Jack in the Box. Try Jack's new $3 spicy tiny tacos and $4 loaded spicy tiny tacos.
Welcome back to Petco Park. After last night's nearly 6-hour game, Dave Roberts told us afterwards that there was going to be a few roster moves today. Of course, Mookie Betts is activated. We knew that was going to happen, but also Darian Nunez was recalled. So that meant that both Matt Beatty and Gavin Lux were optioned to AAA OKC. Dave Roberts said that it was an incredibly difficult decision to option those two, but the hope is that they will go to the OKC team and be able to be playing consistently, guys.
All right, Kirsten, and while you could see Lux coming with his diminished role, just a few at-bats since coming back, I was surprised to see Beatty go down. A.J. Pollock starts the fourth for the Dodgers. And takes a strike from Darvish.
I think Matt would still be on the roster if they wouldn't have had the 16-inning game and needed a fresh arm. And Nunez really covers for if something drastic would happen to Max Scherzer. There's enough arms down there of a high leverage quality that Max goes 6 or 7, they'll be fine.
Dodger starters between Urias on Tuesday, Buehler last night, and his 3 innings of Max Scherzer so far have given up 1 unearned run in 14 2/3. Pollock, who grounded out his first time, leads off this 4th inning and slaps one on a line to center field. Grisham can't get it. All the way to the wall, and Pollock is on his horse, headed for third. Picks up Dino Ebel, who puts on the stop sign, and it's a leadoff triple for Pollock.
Grisham had trouble with this ball at the end. I don't know if it was knuckling a little bit. You can get line drives to center when the bat meets the ball perfectly. It was knuckle. Yeah, that ball went to the left and then came back to the right as far as our look from home plate. And once it's deflected off his glove, A.J. Pollock does a nice job turning the bags. And the camera shot did get him right there, picking up Dino Ebel. And whoa, mule.
Leadoff triple for Pollock. And Cody Bellinger comes up. Gone final in New York. Giants have swept the Mets. 3-2 the final score. Bellinger hits a fly ball to right center field. This would be deep enough to bring home the man from third. Tatis makes the catch. RBI for Bellinger makes it 4-0. Well, the Mets are just happy to be done with that stretch, huh? 13 games in a row against nothing but the Dodgers and the Giants. They go 2-11 in those 13 games.
And it is so hard in the big leagues to go on the road and sweep somebody. You know, usually the home team is going to come through, and especially in a 4-game series. I know that was a 3-game series, but boy, Giants are doing a number.
Swing and a miss from Billy McKinney. Giants have won 5 straight now. And 18 of 23. Albert is there with a word for anybody that wants it. And they all do.
Assistant coach in almost any department, including off the field.
Sharply hit, diving stop Profar, race to the bag, won by Darvish. So McKinney is out number 2, and it brings up Austin Barnes with the bases empty. A 2-run home run as we take a look at StatCast powered by Google Cloud.
Fewer and fewer opportunities for Austin Barnes, and this felt good for everybody, especially Austin, but the team appreciates him and his role and what he has done, and that was a nice one.
4 of the 5 that he's hit this year have come against either the Padres or the Giants. can talk hitting with him, or you can just have a friend. That was a more aggressive thing than the hug. It's the Albert headlock.
It's like, Tio Albert, take it easy.
Right. As his role has diminished the last month or so, he has not changed one bit. If there's been a change, it's maybe that he looks even more comfortable being that guy. If there was ever a moment where he didn't look comfortable in that role, but just really seems to be embracing what he is for this team now. He badly wants to get back to the postseason. He badly wants to win another World Series. It says that in recent years, and it's been forever since he's gone, he can't even bear to turn the games on TV. Two and two. Don't you get the feeling that there's going to be a moment or two for Albert Pujols to seize once October gets here?
Yeah, I think that the really comforting thing about having him on the roster is how good he is against left-handed pitching and how good he is in the moment. And so it's really good to have a guy on the team like that has the ability to create the chemistry he does around himself and the aura that they all want to gravitate towards, and he still does something exceptionally well.
The thing that they acquired him to do. And it became more than that because of the injuries. But what he's fallen into, quote unquote, fallen into here in August, this was kind of the plan all along. They just finally are healthy enough to deploy him that way. Barnes down swinging. That does it for the Dodgers in the fourth, but they get another, taking advantage of a leadoff triple from A.J. Pollock. T-Mobile coverage cam. Unique view up there. Looking out over Petco Park, where the Dodgers have a 4-0 lead, looking for the sweep in this series. Our junior Dodger of the game, Ayami from Glendale. Her favorite player is Cody Bellinger. A chance to be the junior Dodger of the game. Go to Dodgers.com/JR Dodgers. Dodgers got 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth to support Max Scherzer, who's given up just 1 base runner through 3 while striking out 6.
Starters are doing a number on the Padres. 15 2/3 innings of no earned run ball. Just the 1 unearned run off of Buehler. Just 5 hits allowed. Is it anemic offense or is it outstanding pitching? I'm going to go with the pitching card.
And facing a lineup that is not very good right now. Cronenworth struck out his first time. And he grounds out here. So the top 3 in the order, Tatis, Cronenworth, and Machado, in the 3 games in this series, combined 1 for 31. Here is Machado. Down the line, foul. Max ahead 0-2.
I wonder how much it confuses a hitter when he's out there shaking his head. He's got as many pitches like Darvish, and you just, why is Barnes not being able to get on the same page here? What is he going to pull the trigger on now? And he went to the curveball the last pitch. And now the changeup. Pitchers get on a roll, and it's usually one of two pitches. You know, they're just pounding the strike zone. They're elite command with those two that night. And then all of a sudden you start seeing them shake their head, shake their head, shake their head. You're like, uh-oh, what's coming?
Another 1-2. Got him with a slider. Strikeout number 7 for Scherzer. He's got Machado both times.
No idea what he's going to throw, and everything he throws is pretty close to elite.
Two away in the fourth for Tommy Pham, who takes strike 1. That is pretty much a free strike against Pham. Swings at the first pitch at one of the lower rates in baseball. Just slow, 1-1. Doubled up on the changeup. This one was in there, and it's 1-2. Three straight.
Most people think about throwing the changeup and keeping it away from hitters. Max throws his in and expects them to roll over it to third or pull it foul. You think about a left-hander throwing a changeup to a right-hand hitter. You know, they're just kind of fading it away, getting them out front, roll over away. Max goes in with his changeup.
Here it comes to the 3-2. Fastball gets him looking. 97 for Scherzer, who has struck out 8 through 4. World Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Toyota's national sales event is on. Come and find great ways to save on a new Camry. 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth for the Dodgers, looking for the sweep over the Padres. Joe, Orel, and Kirsten. As Yu Darvish faces Max Scherzer. Takes a strike.
These at-bats are almost becoming news.
Yeah.
We're getting close.
Grounded out his first time, hitless in 46 plate appearances this year. If you happen to just join us, the Major League record is 49.
Max Scherzer could be famous and infamous.
Strikeout for Darvish to open the fifth. Third of the game for him. Some beautiful pictures from Petco on what is, by the way, the anniversary of the very first televised baseball game. Top of the order, Trey Turner swings through a heater, strike one. 1939, it was at Ebbets Field, the Dodgers and the Reds. And it was sparked by the World Fair being in New York City that summer. And the hot new topic at the World Fair was this thing called the television. Turner went around and it's 0-2. It was estimated that there were about 400 television sets around New York at that point. And so they put this baseball game on the air. It looked obviously nothing like this. There were two stationary cameras. There was one near the third base dugout and one high above home. And it was cool that there was a baseball game on TV, but you couldn't really see anything. So the ball kind of looked like a blur. Called by the Hall of Famer Red Barber. Red Barber was the number one when Vin came as the number two. What a broadcasting tree that was. You know, Vin replaced Ernie Harwell.
Right.
Ernie left the Dodgers to go do Giants games, and he went for another 60 years after that. Most of that is the Detroit Tigers voice. One-two flies home, and Trey Turner swings through it. Back-to-back Ks in the fifth for Darvish.
I grew up listening to Ray Lane and Ernie Harwell. Detroit area. 68 Tigers that won it all. It was a record album back then called The Year of the Tiger. Played it over and over and over again. Denny McLain, 131. Mickey Lolich, big star in the World Series.
Two gone for Seager, who attacks the first pitch on one bounce. Ha-Sung Kim. You can never accuse Seager of being like a house by the side of the road. That's an Ernie Harwell-ism.
Head to the Dodger game early this Sunday for Viva Los Dodgers, presented by Coca-Cola and Spectrum. This family-friendly pregame fiesta occurs 2 hours prior to the game in the newly renovated Centerfield Plaza. Entry is free with a game ticket. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/Viva.
Freeland, Gray, and Senzatella coming for the Rockies this weekend. The only starter that's been announced for the Dodgers, David Price on Saturday night. TBA for tomorrow and Sunday. Max Scherzer has been dominant. 8 Ks through 4 innings, and he starts Trent Grisham off with a curveball, strike one. Only one base runner. Is a double from Caratini. And depending on how this thing continues here, it'll be hard not to talk about the fact that Billy McKinney's making his first start over there. And the guy that usually starts is the number one defensive first baseman in the majors this year, Max Muncy. Who knows if Muncy would have made the play or not, but it's impossible not to at least bring that up and wonder. As long as it goes like this, with that being the only hit. And this will change that conversation a little bit as Grisham drops it into the corner. A leadoff double.
Max started him off with a strike, got ahead again. That would be 12 out of 14 of those, but Grisham right here just stays on that ball away and slices it into the corner for the double.
The last hit he gave up was that double by McKinney, and that was with 1 out. Now he's going to have to pitch around this double with no outs.
And Jurickson Profar at the plate. at the knee. Strike one.
The thing about that double by McKinney when you were talking about it with Max Muncy possibly over there, a left-handed thrower compared to a right-handed thrower, the glove would have been on the Muncy first baseline side, so the range that McKinney was short on, he had to backhand, so he has a good 3.5 feet of less range to where that double went by him.
That hits him. So just one base runner through 4. First 2 weeks here in the 5th.
Right around that hump inning for pitchers, starting pitchers, where you have an inning where you go out there and you go, okay, I don't quite have the adrenaline I had in the first 2-3 innings. All of a sudden I am slightly winded. I've batted twice, and you've got to find your rhythm for that one inning before all of a sudden, like a long distance runner, the energy kicks back in.
Remember, this was that moment of the game for Scherzer last weekend where he cruised through 4 innings and then ran into issues in the 5th. Had to throw 34 pitches to get out of that inning, having allowed just 1. Padres mounting something for the first time. 2 on, nobody out. Ha-Sung Kim, strike 1. Finds it with a slider.
On paper, you're in the right part of the order. 7, 8, 9 coming up.
Here's an 0-1. There's strike 2. Struck him out the first time he saw him. Has him 0-2 here. And delivers to strike him out again. The 9th for Max Scherzer.
That was some quick work to have first and second no out and just get that strikeout. 2 fastballs away to finish him off.
But before he was Mad Max, he was known as Juice back in Missouri. It was his own word for high velocity. And he used to shout it all the time during bullpens or when he was doing bench press. He would shout, Juice! 1-0 on Caratini.
Doesn't that fit him perfectly?
Oh, man. It's just a wonderful blend of intensity and playfulness.
Pamper me.
We got word, by the way, that the pamper me thing that he did to Rick Honeycutt, that's tradition during his bullpen sessions and during his warm-ups.
Mark Pryor has to do it.
But it's completely tongue-in-cheek. I think it's important that anytime we tell that story, we say that. Wants it to be serious, wants it to be intense, all his work, but he also genuinely wants it to be fun and understands that it's a long season, a lot of work is put in. Tries to cut through some of the mundane. That's a grounder that's stopped by Turner to second one. Trey to first. Double play. Turner and Turner combined to get Max Scherzer out of the inning unscathed.
career strikeout. When I caught up with him this afternoon about that strikeout, he said that represents all of the hard work that he has put into his pitching, all of the trust that the people around him have had in him that have allowed him to be a better and a successful pitcher. They said that is not the ultimate goal for this season. Of course, it's a wonderful achievement and he is incredibly grateful for it, but right now it's about continuing this season, getting another World Series championship. But he is going to be putting that ball and the game jersey in a frame and hanging up at his home, guys.
Yeah, you could see on his face, Kirsten, how much it meant to him. Dodgers up 4-0 in this one. 3, 4, and 5 coming up against Yu Darvish. First game back for Mookie. 0 for 2, flied out, struck out. And he yanks the first one that he sees down the line, foul.
Good to see Mookie wince after that swing. Not in pain, but in, oh, it was just a little early.
Thing almost came back. Slowest one he's thrown tonight at 71.
Little dewdrop.
Dodgers getting 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth. Over 3 innings, Darvish has gone 3 up, 3 down. Oh, 1-2 to Betts. Second time Mookie's gone down on strikes tonight. That is 5 for Darvish. 1 away in the 6th, and a quick word from Jack in the Box.
Try my new spicy tiny tacos starting at $3.50, only at Jack in the Box.
First start for Yu Darvish off of the injured list. Second stint that he's had this season on the IL. These are back issues that he's dealt with throughout his career. But at a time where they are so banged up, and really have been all season, they need him not just to be healthy, but to be good like he was in the first half. First one to Turner. Backs up and misses, 1-0. Start the night a game back of the Reds for the second wild card spot. Reds trying to avoid the sweep and did. 5-1 win over the Brewers. So a game and a half back. The Padres on it. Up until, 3 weeks ago? It wasn't even a conversation.
Not at all.
And then it was like one day you see this objects in the mirror maybe closer than they appear. You see this car starting to creep up, and it's the Reds. They've passed them.
We started to take notice when the Reds were about 3 back. It's like, what's going on here?
Joey Votto happened.
Yeah. Was that about a week or 8 or 9 days in a row where he was homering?
Mm-hmm. On a 2-1, Turner takes high, ball 3. The 11-game lead is a great piece of evidence for the people that don't like the one-game wild card format.
Yes.
You're 11 games better than the team that you have to face in a one-game winner moves on, winner goes home game. If obviously it began today. Full count. Works great when you're splitting hairs, right? When the wild card game is going to be between two equal teams, but in this case, one of them has the second best record in baseball. The other one just barely getting into the picture. Would you ever be up for getting rid of divisions and just having the National League and the American League?
Wow.
Because it's been discussed. That is just foul.
Then how many teams are going to make the playoffs?
Be the same. I mean, you could do whatever you wanted.
Top three are in, and 4 and 5 play a one-game playoff.
You could do that.
I like the individual races.
Me too.
Of the three divisions.
Me too.
I think it keeps it more competitive right down to the very end. I think it keeps more fan bases really interested and engaged. You wanted more teams to make it, but have them evenly split, like you're saying, and not have that 11 games. What if you went to 4 divisions on each side? Be an odd balance of teams.
And what are you trying to accomplish by doing that?
So as soon as you have 4 champions, no wild card. Now they all can play immediately, like a 3-game series or a 5-game series.
Turn it down on strikes, 2 gone. You still, though, hypothetically could run into a situation like right now where the Dodgers have the second best record in baseball, but they're not going to win the division, as opposed to in a setup without divisions, they'd be the 2 seed.
Right.
I'm not necessarily arguing for it either way. It's just,
yeah. And if baseball ever had an expansion, that would be a possibility. But yeah.
I'm with you, though. There's something about the division race, the division rivals. But that is a relatively new thing in the history of baseball. It used to just be 2 leagues for the longest time. 2 up, 2 down in the 6th. A.J. Pollock takes a strike. Divisional era began in 1969. What do you think the ideal number of playoff teams per league is?
Oh, boy. I don't like going deeper and deeper. I think you need to make sure that this regular season, the games have value, and it just doesn't all of a sudden spread out so thin that,
like last year, where
and I'm not a big fan of like what happens in hockey. So many teams make it. Basketball, I think it just devalues the regular season and what you've accomplished.
How about maybe 1 more? Make it 6?
Yeah, if it would spread out and get rid of the 1-game playoff, do a 3-game playoff to start it off.
Pollock with his second hit of the game. Backhanded by Pham. to hold Pollock to a single. If you kept the 3-division format, 16 playoff, you could have the top 2 teams from each division. You could have 2 byes for the teams with the 2 best records. And then 2 division series between the next 4 teams.
3-game playoff for that first round? Or?
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah.
See, the problem with the byes is baseball is that experiential rhythm sport.
And so the rust.
And you get rust on those teams that have had the best record. Some years it would turn out to be rust. Other years it would be a benefit because maybe they're getting some injured players back, or they can juggle their rotation exactly the way they want it.
More often than not, though, it would be that you wouldn't want that break, right? If you're going to be the team with the best record, you're probably cruising.
Yeah, and you want to just keep playing. And if you had the best record and you're kind of guaranteed it, you would already be setting up for that rhythm in the regular season. It wouldn't be something all of a sudden I need the time to organize my roster and organize my rotation and the bullpen work. Shakey's Pizza is celebrating our educators with the Spectrum Sports Educator Sweepstakes. 8 lucky winners will receive a $50 gift certificate from Shakey's Pizza, plus a virtual teaching kit. Enter online at spectrumeducator.com for your chance to win.
I saw Craig Stammen is warming in the Padres bullpen as Darvish gets ready to throw his 99th pitch. 2-out single from A.J. Pollock. And Cody Bellinger brought it around with a sac fly his last time. Take strike 1.
This inning, we have reached the fastball portion of the Yu Darvish outing. He's really thrown a lot more fastballs. He has slowed the Dodgers down throughout the game with the cutter and the slider and the curveball, but way more heaters.
On an 0-2, he goes with a changeup. Dodgers have scored 3 runs against him in his first 3 starts against him this year. They got 3 in the 3rd alone, added 1 in the 4th. On a 1-2 pitch, Bellinger taps it along first. Ha-Sung Kim flipping with his glove, a good play. And that does it for the Dodgers in the top of the 6th, leading 4-0. Brought to you by Kona Brewing Company and Max Scherzer. 9 Ks, no walks, no runs over 5 innings against the Padres.
He is just what the doctor ordered when we got to the trade deadline. He was the big piece that people wanted, and boy, he has been dynamite since putting on that Dodger uniform. This is his 5th start, and is looking at his own 4th personal victory and the Dodgers' 5th victory.
It'll be a pinch hitter to lead off this 6th inning for San Diego. Adam Frazier. So a little bit surprising seeing the lineup come out. Frazier not in it. He's got a home run and 3 doubles in his career against Scherzer. But it just goes to show you where Frazier is. Struggling mightily since coming to the Padres after leading the league in hitting with the Pirates. 1 ball, no strikes. And Frazier pops it up on the infield. And Justin Turner makes the catch. The Padres will be 9 for 99 in this series.
You come into the series knowing that they're slumping, and you've got your three key ingredients as far as the starters, Urias, Buehler, and Scherzer. And they've all performed well. And your bullpen had to pitch in a big way when you have a 16-inning game right in the middle of the series. Great job by the Dodger pitching staff.
Strike one on Tatis, and it's all started with what they've done to Tatis and Machado and Cronenworth. Top third of the lineup tonight, 0 for 6 with 5 Ks and 1 for 32 in this series. All three of those guys all-stars. Tatis, who struck out 4 times last night, has struck out both times tonight.
Tatis to me just doesn't look right. I mean, he's not a shadow of himself the way he's performing or the way he looks, but he's a blurry vision of what we normally see. He just doesn't look like he can cut it loose at the plate. The two-handed swing even looks more compact than when he had to switch from the first time he injured his shoulder.
And he's still capable of doing what he did last night, hitting a home run on a ball that he didn't even hit that well. Leads the majors with 35 of them. But talking about lightning in every action when he's right. And it just lacks that lightning.
Everything is a little tighter. It's like everything is in protection mode. They kind of keep it together.
It's a great changeup and a good take. Scherzer to Tatis with a 2-2. And a fly ball off the end of the bat to right for Mookie. 2 up, 2 down. Nothing game, 6th inning. Jake Cronenworth with the bases empty. Last time Max Scherzer was on this mound, he was giving up a home run to Daniel Camarena, the reliever. Five and 2/3 tonight, and nothing.
It was a granny, wasn't it?
Uh-huh. First pitcher to have his first career home run be a grand slam since 1898. First career hit be a grand slam, beg your pardon, since 1898. Wow. Frosty Bill Duggleby.
Names are great back there.
Okay. We're going to start bringing those back. Huh?
Yeah, those are great names.
97 and ball one from Juice Scherzer.
He's been getting ahead of everybody. 16 out of 20 batters. First pitch strike, 80%.
Here's his 2-2.
Plenty of gas left in the tank. 97 right there. 97 with not his best rhythm.
got to the one he likes. It took 4 tries, but here comes a curveball.
On 3-2, it wraps inside, ball 4, first one that he's issued tonight.
Got the celebration walk after a strikeout, and then he's got the I'm disgusted with myself walk after the walk.
A little more of a stomp to that.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be the one you would have going past the kids' bedrooms at night.
Turn that music down.
I meant while they're sleeping. Quiet feet. Yeah.
I was thinking of my teenage sons.
Uh-huh. Del Machado comes up. Runner at first, 2 gone, and a 4-0 game in the 6th. And the first one from Scherzer, swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Machado down on strikes both times tonight. He's 0 for 10 in this series, and his struggles most closely aligned with the Padres' struggles. He's in 11 of their last 13 games. He's hitting below 130 in that time, and his OPS is below 400. On this 0-1, fouls off a heater, 0-2.
Starts him off with the high 70s breaking ball, and then goes 96 low and away. Perfect.
Here's an 0-2.
You think about an 18-mile-an-hour differential between one pitch and the next, and it takes, with most hitters, somewhere between a 10 and 12-mile-an-hour differential to get a swing and miss without even the movement on the ball. So Max is making it move and changing speeds up to 18, 20 miles an hour if he wants. After the walk, this is a pretty big pitch for his psyche. He doesn't want to go to 3-2. A, you don't want to start the runner 3-2. All of a sudden, a double scores a run. The 2-2, known as the action pitch because of that.
Calls for a fastball. Here he comes. Sharp grounder, but right at Seager, who goes the short way and ends the 6th. 6 shutout innings from Max Scherzer tonight. He's got 9 Ks, and he's got a 4-0 lead. Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr., the new sourdough star. Now at Carl's Jr., feed your happy. This week back in 1951, Grandstand Managers Day in St. Louis, where you get a special ticket and you come into the game and they give you one of these signs. On one side it says yes, on one side it says no. And St. Louis put a team employee in the dugout, and he had a card that had every conceivable situation in a baseball game where he would ask the grandstand managers a question and they would answer yes or no. There's a dude standing next to him tabulating the results with a walkie-talkie, and on that walkie-talkie telling the bench coach what to do, and they followed the grandstand manager's instructions the entire game, and they won the game. Craig Stammen on to pitch in the 7th.
You didn't need the tabulator with that still photo we had there. There was enough yeses there that it was done. Nobody needed to count it up.
Billy McKinney leads off the 7th, takes a strike. So the regular manager didn't have anything to do that day. Said, I don't know if I'll come. Maybe I will. We'll see. And the front office staff was interested to see, is Zach Taylor, the skipper, going to actually come? And sure enough, he was there in a rocking chair on top of the dugout in street clothes and slippers with a pipe. Taking the game in casually. And after an inning, the umpire made him move. because he wasn't in uniform. He said you can't even be on the dugout if you're not in uniform. So they just slid him off of the dugout to the box next to it. One of the many brainchilds of Bill Veeck, one-of-a-kind baseball executive. He's probably best known for Disco Demolition Day in Chicago. So many other things that he was responsible for.
White Sox wearing shorts instead of the full baseball pants.
What a play by Ha-Seong Kim.
A lot of different skills. First one, concentration. The second one, just that first step and then the leap and the eye-hand coordination. Well done.
So McKinney's the first out of the 7th, and it brings up Barnes. Started the scoring in this game with a 2-run home run against Yu Darvish.
That home run felt like it just kept the momentum going from last night's win after the 16-inning marathon to break on top, to break towards a sweep, and to have Max Scherzer on the mound and you give him a 2-run lead with your shot.
One is that home run. Barnes' 5th this season.
Fly high and he didn't miss it. Haven't we had enough this series of balls just clearing the wall or almost being caught at the wall or being caught at the wall?
Yeah.
It's been the perfect distance of some fly balls and home runs and catches.
Enough to make a campaign video for those that want all fences to be that height. Here's why.
It does make fly balls and just memorable, right? You leave the ballpark going, oh my gosh, how about that one in the 4th? The one Pollock robbed and Machado. How about the one Seager didn't get?
1-2 comes home, and Barnes watches it come back in to get him. It was Pollock the first night of the series. It was Will Myers last night. You're talking about Bill Veeck. One of his ideas when he was the general manager in Cleveland was he had parts of the outfield wall on tracks, so he could move them in or out based on who the opponent was going to be. He'd always do it secretly in the middle of the night.
I thought you were going to go with which way the wind was blowing, too.
Might have done that, too. Scherzer with 2 out, fouls it off. Once had an Al Smith night.
Okay.
Everybody named Al, everybody named Smith. Got a free ticket. And the inspiration for it was he had an outfielder named Al Smith who got off to a really bad start with the White Sox, and the fans hated him. And so it was his attempt to help win the fans over. On Al Smith night, he went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts and 2 double plays.
Pretty soon he gets away out of the stands. PA announcer wouldn't even have to change the script.
That's right. Give me a new Al Smith. There's a bunch of
now
here.
batting Al Smith.
How do you know, eh? Just playing the odds.
Who can fit in this uniform named Al Smith?
Had a guy named Smiling Stan Hack.
Okay.
When he was at the Cubs, and they had a Smile with Stan Hack night where they had a mirror giveaway.
Okay.
To everybody in the bleachers. A few innings into the game, they'll realize that they could reflect the sun back into the opposing hitter's eyes. And so that kind of became a thing, the Smile with Stan Hack mirrors.
Modern version of that is a laser towards Max Muncy.
Yeah.
Max Muncy looked like the Green Hornet that night.
2-2 from Stammen is in the dirt. Harry Carey singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" was Bill Veeck's idea. Harry was initially with the White Sox before he was with the Cubs.
Yep.
Harry told him, "I can't sing though." And Bill said, "Exactly. If you could sing, I wouldn't ask you to do it. It's the whole point. They're going to love it."
Didn't make him too famous at all.
Yeah,
Wasn't
right.
great for his brand.
Yeah. Scherzer down looking, and we stretch in San Diego with the Dodgers in front 4-0.
Backstage Dodgers, Joe Kelly and his son Knox head to the barbershop for haircuts. Also, we take a look at reliever Mitch White's career night against the Pirates. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers tomorrow, presented by Cadillac.
Tidy one for the Dodgers so far. Max Scherzer, most responsible for that. 6 shutout innings, only 2 hits against him. And he struck out 9 as he looks for his 4th win in 5 games with LA.
Doesn't he look like he's in his prime? I mean, he has got plenty in the tank. This is a great addition to the Dodger roster. 3-time Cy Young Award winner, 3-time strikeout champion, All-Star, some 8 times, I think. Just amazing. He continues to just dominate. Having an outstanding season.
Former first-round pick out of Missouri back in 2006. For the Arizona Diamondbacks, remember. She debuted with Arizona, then got traded to the Tigers. From the Tigers to the Nationals. In the final year of the contract that he signed there, which when he signed it, it's crazy looking back on now, but the Nationals took a lot of heat. A lot of people thought that was too much money for him. A strike on Tommy Pham. All these years later, it's proven to be one of the best contracts of this era. Even if you're just looking at what he's specifically done himself, but then you also consider that he helped them win their first world championship. You can't put any kind of number on that. Pham into center field. Cody Bellinger for the first out.
You go back and you do what? Price per win, price per strikeout, price per inning that's a 0. Any way you evaluate it, he was a high value.
7 years, $210 million. So $30 million a year, which is the range of the elite pitchers. He certainly has proven to be one of those. You can understand why there were some questions about that, because for the first 5 years of his career, he was right around average. He always flashed this great stuff, but had a hard time consistently channeling it. And then he wins his first Cy Young with the Tigers. One more season there. For signing that big deal. Sign another big deal this offseason with somebody. There's the 1-0 to Grisham. One of the benefits of acquiring a guy at the deadline, like the Dodgers did with Max Scherzer, is a chance to kind of have a passive sell job as a enticing landing spot for him in free agency. Be one thing to woo him in the offseason, tell him what you're about, but it's another thing to let him experience it firsthand for a couple months. Fly ball right center. Betts and Bellinger. It's Bellinger. 2 gone.
Didn't take long for Mookie Betts to buy into the Dodger culture. They got to stick their toe in the water with Yu Darvish, with Manny Machado, and now with Max Scherzer. And they'll get a little longer look and to be with Trey Turner.
Turn under control for another year. Which is an added wrinkle to Corey Seager's free agency. Here's Jurickson Profar. 4-0 game in the 7th. Taking ball 1.
I don't think there's any doubt that the Dodgers would like to keep almost everybody of the star players that are on the roster now, try and sign them and bring them back. Keep the quiver full. Every president of baseball operations or general manager that's running a club, they have their feelers out to every single place in the market. They know about every possible deals that are going down. Who's working towards building a club, who's thinking about unloading, what their budgets are going to be, the projected budget, current budget. So there are no surprises in the industry other than the train keeps moving. Once somebody makes a deal or something happens, new scenario, new context.
8-pitch inning for Max Scherzer. He goes 1-2-3 again.
One for the World Series MVP Corey Seager. Now Dodger fans can relive Corey's incredible postseason accomplishments by taking home his MVP bobblehead. Be at Dodger Stadium on Wednesday, September 1st when the Dodgers face the Braves, and the first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a Corey Seager World Series MVP bobblehead presented by Budweiser.
Second inning for Craig Stammen, retired the bottom of the order in the 7th, and now Trey Turner. 1 out of 3, doubled and a run scored tonight. Taking ball 1 from Stammen. Loops in there, strike 2.
As we see more and more at bats with Trey Turner up there, we get to see that the league likes to throw a lot of spin to him. They do not like to throw the fastball, but here they're going to try and finish him with a fastball in. A lot of times with hitters, if their strength is the fastball, you still have to throw it, but you know deep down you're trying to make the perfect pitch or a ball with it, compared to when you get backed into a corner or want to throw a strike or need a strike, you want to go to a little bit more of their Achilles heel with a little spin, a slider, or a curveball. The trouble is when you can't throw the spin stuff for a strike and you get backed into a fastball count, which you could be in one right here. 3-2, nobody on. Don't want to walk a guy that's like walking a double.
Elevated off-speed pitch, popped up, and Jurickson Profar's got it. And the bullpen is quiet for the Dodgers. Scherzer's thrown 92 pitches over 7 shutout innings. And boy, just what the doctor ordered, huh? The day after the 16-inning game.
They have some protection in the rotation now with the way Julio's throwing the ball, the way Buehler's throwing the ball, and now Scherzer. David Price stretched out now and could give you some innings.
We got a bullpen game tomorrow. So Scherzer sandwiched between the 16-inning game and a bullpen game. Extra important for him to do what he's doing tonight. Seager grounds out to Kim. Again, Giants won already. 5th consecutive win for San Francisco, 3-2. The Dodgers fighting to stay 2.5 back.
Dodgers continued to kind of try and punch a ticket to get to the series against the Giants where they might be able to gain some ground, because you look up at the scoreboard from the East Coast and they've already won the last 3 nights, and you're just trying to keep pace. Bring on the head-to-head so we can make a dent in that lead.
Betts is 0 for 3 here in his first game off of the injured list, and he takes ball 1 from Stammen. Muncy figures to be back in there tomorrow, which will give the Dodgers, for one of the only times this season, their full complement of players. Really, just the second game, if you include Trey Turner as the full complement of players. They had both those guys in the lineup for one day before Mookie went down in the IL. Muncy not in there today. Playing through an 0 for 20 skid. On a 2-0 pitch, Mookie Betts takes a ball. It's 3-0.
I don't know if he'll swing, but I think he's got a 3-0 green light here. Dave Roberts wanting to get something positive out of Mookie for the night.
A 4-pitch walk, so he does reach base here. And what the Dodgers hope will be his final time up there. A quick word from Morongo.
Wahlburgers, shakes, and tops, now at Morongo.
Officially the dog days of August for the Padres. This skid, and August is a tough month before you get into September and the race starts closing in on the finish line. Padres aren't really, sorry Joe, but the Padres aren't really the ones where you think about the dog days of August because of the great weather they have in San Diego and Los Angeles. It's a little different than if you're in St. Louis or Cincinnati or Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's on top of the fact that you've played 120 games, right? You get in that heavy humidity in some of those cities.
And rain delays.
It's a ball on Justin Turner. That's a ball on the warning track. Don't mess with Tommy Pham. I doesn't like to mess around.
It's the only thing negative about that short wall. Shorter wall. Beach ball gets over quickly. Oh, yeah. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That was elite.
Nice. Turner waits on an off-speed pitch, flared into right. Tatis runs under it, and the 8th. Max Scherzer goes back out there. 7 zeros under his belt. 9 strikeouts and a 4-0 lead.
Max Scherzer dominating through 7 shutout innings, 9 strikeouts, and his battery made Austin Barnes with a home run to help as well.
Max Scherzer is elite. Everybody better get on your feet.
Plenty of reaction from Scherzer. Dave Roberts, these guys will break it down. See you soon.
All right, guys, Scherzer pitches into the 8th inning for the first time since June 4th. 92 pitches. 93 is strike 1 on Kim as he faces the bottom of the order. 9 strikeouts, just 1 walk. Give up a double to Caratini in the 3rd and a double to Grisham in the 5th. No balls, 2 strikes. We talked about this Scherzer's last time out as he battled his way through that 5th. He takes a lot of pride in the way that he finishes games. He tries to frame it in his mind as the last 15 pitches. Look, this is it. I'm going to empty it out on these last 15 pitches, and trains really hard to be able to be at his best for that moment. His 0-2 is golf foul.
His batting average against in his first 50 pitches is .209. His batting average against, which is a rarity, in his second 50 pitches after the 50th pitch, 162.
And by rarity, you mean not many guys get better as the game goes on.
Very few. Yeah. And he has enough in the tank, and he's got a little gumption. He came into this game where San Diego has kind of beat him up, right? And they had done it mostly on his fastball and his cutter. And we said maybe he's going to have to go with more breaking stuff and changeups tonight, which he has. And these Padres have struggled again against the breaking ball. 0 for 7 against the breaking ball tonight. 0 for 20 against the breaking ball the last 2 games.
Wow.
So he has pitched to a plan and executed it almost perfectly.
Fires in 0-2. It's in the dirt with a slider. Ball 1. It's another thing that he says goes back to his days at Missouri, where he'd be really good first 4 or 5 innings of the game, and then he found himself losing velocity as he got deeper and just couldn't take that. Couldn't take the feeling that came with losing it at the end of the outing. So that's when he started really committing to the weight room, building his strength, building his stamina to be able to finish with a flurry.
Well, the strength that comes natural in your delivery, like the very beginning, and you turn your foot, you plant into the rubber, and now you're headed towards the plate. As you get tired, you've got to dig deep. You've got to actually try to use the muscles and get into your delivery. And that's what it looks like he does.
97 to induce a pop fly that Corey Seager will catch. 1 out in the 8th.
I know you lift weights, and I know you've done a leg press, and anybody out there that's done a leg press, the feeling for me in these later innings was right before you do something that's like 80% of your max in a leg press, you know how you get your feet in the right position, you kind of you don't push the whole weight, but you get your legs engaged before you say, all right, my body's ready, my spine's aligned, here I go. Mm-hmm. That's what it feels like on the mound. When you're a little bit tired and you get into your foot and into your delivery, you have to consciously engage those muscles and make sure it's all ready to fire. Compared to when you're rested, it just kind of comes natural. The adrenaline, the movements all come natural with strength. When you get a little tired, it's kind of like you got to get ready for the moment.
More like a body weight squat early in the game.
Yeah.
Kind of flowing in and out of it.
Yeah, it's just everything fires, everything works. This is a little bit more of a conscious effort to grab all those fibers and say, all right, I'm going to fire them and put them in the right direction. Because it's easy to kind of just move through the delivery as you're tired, you know, with a little bit of linear motion and a little forward motion.
But no, to engage the muscles too and to get it moving correctly,
that's his commitment.
Caratini barely stays alive. As one of the 2 hits for the Padres tonight is the first one. Doubled down the line. Shane Green, who got the save last night, is joining Joe Kelly. Scherzer's 0-2 is way outside, ball 1.
I think Green might be the 2 out, nobody on. Let's get Max Scherzer out of there to protect his pitch count. And Joe Kelly might be the 9th.
Got him. 10th of the game for Scherzer.
We have seen him walk right-handers hitters out with that pitch, and we've seen him back-foot it to lefties. Cutters and sliders in that same area have been very successful tonight.
By himself, Max Scherzer gets everybody jumbo jacks tomorrow. That is going to do it for him. Dave Roberts comes out. Max Scherzer says, yep, this sounds about right. 10 Ks over 7 2/3 shutout innings against the Padres. The Dodgers in that dugout after another great performance. Trying to move to 4-0 in his 5 games with the Dodgers. Dodgers trying to move to 5-0. 7 2/3. First time that he pitched into the 8th inning since June 4th.
He's one of those guys that when he walks in the room, everybody knows he's there.
Who's out, brought to you by In-N-Out. Shane Green got the save last night. It changes the temperature of any space that he walks into.
He sure does. Albert's that way. Max is that way. It looks like Trey Turner a little bit on the quieter side, but is that way. And really amazing chemistry that has been built on the Dodger club.
Well, quite a bounce back for Shane Green last night. After in his Dodger debut, he hit 2, walked 1, and gave up a hit. He had a 1-2-3 16th inning, struck out a pair, got the save. Eric Hosmer to pinch hit.
What a job that Dave Roberts did last night.
Sure was.
As far as the way he managed the pitching staff, the way he managed holding back his pinch hitters, the way he used the intentional walk to keep the Padres from having a better chance to score in those extra innings. It was masterful.
He outmanaged Jace Tingler. Those 8 intentional walks, 4 of them came to get to a spot in the order that was a weakness because of something Jace Tingler did. He burned all his bench players by the 10th inning. And so in key spots, multiple times, Dave Roberts was able to exploit that, getting the pitcher to the plate.
And between the pitching staff and the way he managed it, it gave the offense enough time to finally score some runs. When to pull the trigger, when not to pull the trigger. And boy, are they on a great run right now. Looking to cap this series, get a sweep. You had mentioned last night that Green had all of a sudden found the release in the field for that changeup. Trying to find it right there on that last pitch that went to the backstop.
Full count on Hosmer.
With the 3-batter minimum for your relievers coming in, this is the safest place to try and milk an out of your bullpen with what would be considered a more of a low leverage arm, and not going to Joe Kelly early and having him get an out and then have to come back out of the dugout and get 3 more.
A flare on the left side, and he will get the job done. Corey Seager makes the catch. Shane Green gets the final out of the 8th inning. 4-0 to the 9th. World champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Mercury Insurance. Low rates, big discounts, great insurance. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop NissanUSA.com. The Nissan calendar. Quick 3-game road trip and then back home. It's a nice stretch of the schedule here where the Dodgers had a homestand, 3 games in San Diego, and then back to Dodger Stadium, 3 with the Rocks, 3 with the Braves. Sean Anderson for the top of the 9th.
Trying to post to 0, give San Diego one last shot. They have really failed to put runners in scoring position, and they have not gotten many hits with runners in scoring position this series. They are 2 for 32, so needs to post to 0 to keep it at a 4-run deficit.
They've scored 5 runs on 9 hits in the 3 games, and really it's 4 games with the extra innings they played last night.
They've only had 2 runners in scoring position tonight, and they're 0 for 4.
A.J. Pollock, who has a triple and scored a run, leads off this inning against Anderson. Those Atlanta Braves we were talking about coming to Dodger Stadium, they are hosting the Giants beginning tomorrow. And the Braves have been one of the hottest teams in baseball. Won 16 of their last 20. They lead the East by 5.
Well, there'll be 34 games left. Pretty soon we're going to be in the 20s. Dodgers have a chance to be tied for first by the time we get into the 29 games left. You never know. They stay hot.
Well, coming into this week here, right, it was advantage Giants. They're playing the Mets, who are really struggling. This Padres really struggling as well. But given how well the Padres have played against the Dodgers, and been doing this for a while now, seeing who the Giants play, seeing who the Dodgers play, and how that lines up on paper, right? For the first time in a while, you're going to feel pretty good about the Dodgers' chances to gain some ground. Giants playing the hot Braves, Dodgers playing the Rockies. And the Rockies at Dodger Stadium. Rockies completely different team, home versus road.
Now, these are some games when the Dodgers are home, you need to come out because they are going to be electric. They're going to be impactful to the standings. They are hot right now and a joy to watch play.
Pollock slots one in the air to center field. That is caught by Trent Grisham. The third home run robbery of this series.
The other two, both Myers and Pollock, got to the wall a little earlier, could time their jumps as far as they were there in plenty of time. This one is more of a full-out sprint, a little hesitation there to time it, and then jump before you get to the wall so the wall doesn't stop you, and get up and get the glove over the edge and catch it. Wow.
Trent Grisham won a Gold Glove for the Padres last season. It was a unique year in the way that those were voted on last year. Normally it's 75% managers and coaches, 25% Sabres defensive index to account for the Gold Glove winners. Last year it was 100% the Sabre defensive index rankings, with managers and coaches only seeing players in their own division. So the numbers really like Grisham. Won that Gold Glove. First one for a Padre in almost a decade, since Chase Headley won in 2012. Doesn't have great speed, but talk about his instincts, the routes that he takes. Bellinger slots one to him here. Much easier play, 2 gone. Padres in the 9th inning have the top of the order coming up. It's a strike on McKinney. Joe Kelly continues to warm, and so it appears just as you anticipated. Shane Green to get the last out of the 8th. Kelly for the 9th. Into the shift, Machado. A 1-2-3 ninth inning for Anderson. Bullpen's done a nice job for the Padres in this game. The offense has been non-existent. 4-0 to the bottom of the ninth. Pollock in game 1. Myers in game 2 last night. And tonight, turnabout is fair play, as you often say. It was Trent Grisham doing to Pollock what he did to the Padres the first night.
Put that height wall in the basic agreement.
I love it.
Everybody's got to have a, what's the wall? 6.5 feet? 7 feet maybe?
I don't know. Why not bring that up? They don't have anything else to talk about, argue about. Joe Kelly, who faced one hitter last night, to try and get the last 3 outs of a sweep.
Starting pitching for the Dodgers had been exceptional. Almost 20 innings and no earned runs. Scherzer, an unbelievable night tonight. Joe Kelly trying to polish it off. One more 0 for the pen, which has been just as good as the starters.
Top of the order, Fernando Tatis Jr., Jake Cronenworth, Manny Machado. Padres have scored 5 runs on 9 hits in the 3 games in this series. Spanning 33 innings. Tatis 0 for 3 tonight, 1 for 13 in the series. There's a strike, 1-1. Getting back at Dodger Stadium tomorrow for a bullpen game for the Dodgers against Kyle Freeland of the Rockies at 7:10. Saturday 6:10 and Sunday is 1:10. Final homestand of August. On a 1-1 from Kelly, Tatis bumps it down the line, foul. 1-2. Bouncer left side. Trey Turner with a backhand. 4 at 6-3.
Billy McKinney's really been a non-entity over there at first. Nice solid job. A little good stretch right there. Get your foot out of the way. Don't get it stepped on. No issues. A little frustration over there in the white uniforms.
Dodgers 4, Padres nothing. Jake Cronenworth takes strike 1. 3 runs in the 3rd tonight, 1 in the 4th. Started with a Barnes home run. Added 1 on a double from Seager. They got their 4th run after A.J. Pollock had led off the 4th with a triple. Cody Bellinger sacrifice fly. Punch left side. Seager's there. And on a pair of ground outs. 2 away in the ninth. Two gone, Machado. Softly hit to third. Turner's got it. Running throw. Not in time. Infield hit for Machado to keep the night alive for the Padres.
It's the way to play the game. Justin Turner, also Manny Machado, and Fernando Tatis not giving up anything. They both busted it down the line. The Dodgers got Tatis, but Machado for the 10th and only 10th hit of the series for these Padres with that hustle.
Tommy Pham comes up. Ball one.
Dodgers came into this series having lost 4 straight to the Padres, and last time they had met them. Now they looking at 1 out away from flipping that script, winning 3 in a row here.
Machado takes second.
What do you want to use here with a man on second? Well, let's use this set of signs. Okay. I'm going to give you a good low target. Let's get the ball down, throw some strikes. I don't know what else they're saying. Sometimes with Joe Kelly, even in these counts, they'll use a breaking ball to get back in the strike zone. Sometimes he has better command of that than his fastball. Not here. Made an adjustment.
Just in case, Kenley Jansen has started to warm.
With Kenley getting up, that tells me that the visit to the mound from Austin Barnes might have been called from the bench. Give Kenley some time.
2 balls, 1 strike. Kelly to Pham. On the corner, strike 2.
It was a borderline ball, the first pitch of the at-bat to the inside upper corner. And now a borderline strike for Joe Kelly to be a strike away from the Dodgers sweep.
There it is. The Dodgers sweep the Padres.
They keep pace with the Giants, and that is their 14th shutout of the year.
16th win out of their last 18 games. And they hold the Padres to 5 runs on 10 hits. Over 34 innings of baseball. 5 runs on 10 hits. Tonight it was all about Max Scherzer, who goes 7 2/3 to lead the charge. Dodgers get 3 1/3 and 1 1/4 to sweep San Diego. Padres now dropped 12 of their last 14 and are 2 games out of the last postseason spot. For Orel and Kirsten, Joe Davis saying so long from San Diego. Talk to you soon.